I would like to now introduce Dr. Alvin Roth. He is with Stanford University and Harvard University and Tuesday's State of the Art speaker. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
Also, we should mention a Nobel laureate as well. Very remarkable. Let's talk about Tuesday's State of the Art presentation. Kind of give us a brief overview of your talk.
I talked about how changes in the way transplantation is organized have increased access to transplantation. So in particular, kidney exchange started with just exchange between pairs of incompatible patient-donor pairs, but now we have exchanges with more than just two pairs. We have exchanges that take place in long chains started by a non-directed donor, and that those kinds of exchanges now account for most of the transplants that go to the highest sensitized patients. So that increases access to transplantation for the most vulnerable population.
So what additional changes would you like to see happen to improve and increase access to transplantation?
Well, for kidney exchange, some changes we could think of would be removing some of the financial barriers that prevent centers from working with each other for transplantation, and maybe having a standard acquisition charge for live donor kidneys. We could do something more adventurous, like think about initiating non-directed donor chains starting with deceased donors, non-directed deceased donors. And to do that, we would have to think very carefully about how not to disadvantage people who aren't in the kidney exchange pool, but that's possible to do. So I think that just as we now get more than one transplant from live non-directed donors, we might be able to get more than one transplant from deceased non-directed donors, and therefore be able to improve the access to transplantation.
What are you most excited about in terms of developments in kidney exchange?
I think there are a lot of exciting developments in kidney exchange. As it becomes a standard part of American transplantation, it would be nice to see more coordination between the different kidney exchange networks, and that would allow us to look at larger patient donor pools and make more matches.
So what are 2 or 3 things that you hope attendees listening to your talk will walk away with?
I think a good thing for an economist to say to transplant surgeons is that how things are organized makes a difference, and that thinking about the best practices of who's doing the best work in organizing transplantation and inventing new ways to organize transplantation will be one of the big things that can increase access to transplantation.
Professor Roth, thank you so much.
Thank you.